Alright guys, check it out. So those coil brackets we just talked about, they came in. We got 2 of them. So we're going to try to sell one of these, see if we can sell it. Well, if it works, so we'll try to sell it. Okay, so here's what she looks like. 1/4 inch thick aluminum, laser cut, all kinds of lightweighting patterns to save weight. But the point is, it's stiff. Like, this is a rigid bracket, not going anywhere. So here's our coils. So these holes are like 0.201. It's tap drill size for 1/4 20. So the goal is, see if we can get this lined up. Yeah, they go something like that. So we just got to tap the holes, and I was going to do standoffs, but actually it looks like you could just bolt it right to the bracket. So we're going to try it before we cut all these standoffs. If we need standoffs, we got some aluminum tubing, so we can make that happen. But if we don't have to, that'd be awesome. So let me show you what it looks like with all the coils. Okay, how cool is that? I like it. Yeah, this is why we did it this way. So one unique thing about this bracket compared to a lot of others, the coils are not bolted to each other, they're bolted to a bracket. So like you could get in here and swap an individual coil. Man, a lot of the brackets they sell for these, all the coils bolt together, and it looks cool, but it's not very serviceable. So at least one thing going for this. Also, I think it just looks cool with all the lightweighting cuts. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and tap these holes and put some bolts in and see how it looks. Okay, so we tried bolting this up without standoffs. These have standoffs now, but when we did it, didn't look right. I didn't like the coil touching the bracket, and then the more you tighten the bolts, it just wants to bend the bracket instead of just pinching like this. It creates like a bending moment. So spacers it is. So how did I pick the spacers? Well, to be honest with you, I have these bolts. So these bolts are slightly too long, and I didn't really want to cut all the bolts. So instead I made the spacers the length toward the bolts, thread in, and they're almost flush on the back side. So that works out nice, gives them a, little bit of a standoff, maybe 1/4 inch or touch over. We just made our other ones. So this is fairly straightforward. There's probably a better way to do it, but I just take some tubing and then a tubing cutter, which I got this one. And then I take a caliper. So I set my spacers with 3/4 inch, so 0.75. And I basically just do like this. I butt it up against the edge and I drag it across, and it puts a scratch mark like that. And it puts a mark, and then I just line it up and cut it. So pretty easy. Got this one put on. We're going to put the others on real quick and see how it looks. Alright, here they are. So this actually went pretty good. Got them bolted up. Looks fucking awesome. Big old meaty coil packs. So pretty happy, kind of self-explanatory, but I like this. She looks beefy. These are our mounting holes, just 1/4 20 bolts. This will go to probably the firewall. We got to find a spot to put this, but I think I know where it's going. So liking this. Man, these things look meaty. I figured it would, but it's gonna look, I think it's gonna look really good in the engine bay. You guys will see. This car's gonna have a really big ignition system. So we got the MSD IGN1As. These are the strongest version of the IGN1A I can find. We got them spaced out like this. I think it's gonna look good. We got 10mm spark plug wires. Like I said, when this all goes together, it's gonna look really nice. All right, let's see if we can put this on the car. Oh, I guess worth noting, so we could have done this with the coils already built, but since we had a spare bracket, we're using that for mock-up. And that sure makes it easier. So if I ever do sell this and someone's trying to install it, I recommend doing the bracket, like, test fit your coils, but figure out where you're putting your bracket just by itself, then put your coils on. Check this out. Man, these look good. I'm loving this. Check it out. So we got some bolts through the firewall. Those do have a nut on the back side. Using my rivet nut tool, the tool won't get in, like this area blocks access. Here I'd have to pull the intake to do it, but it really doesn't matter because these are like one-time install. From this point forward, if you want to remove a coil, you just pop these out. So you don't have to worry about a nut on the back side because the plate's threaded. Cool. Man, that looks good. Check this out. You back up. Oh yeah. I'm liking this. And I'm sure you guys can imagine, we're going to have the 4 big spark plug wires come out and just go right over and tie in right there. So fairly short and direct, but this is far away from the heat source. So I think it's a good location. Man, okay, well, just happy that turned out as nice as I hoped. And it went fairly quick. design the part, get a laser cut, and tap the holes, drill 2 holes in the firewall, and there she is. So, good stuff. Alright, let's see what's next. Alright, so next project is we're going to work on a hood latch. So we still got the factory hood with this loop, or whatever you call this. The problem is we put a fuel cell up here and cut the front of the car off. So, since we have a second car, let's take a look. I already took some measurements. So, this assembly bolts, there's a bolt way down here. That's the bottom of the latch. That's where it attaches. And it comes up to here. This whole assembly is a little over 5.5 inches tall. And you can see there's the cable that hooks into it. So anyway, roughly 5.5 inches tall to catch. So, here's the problem. We do not have 5.5 inches. 5.5 is up here by my thumb, roughly. Way too high. Like this that Mazda emblem's at like maybe 3 inches. So that ain't gonna work. Way too tall. Wouldn't work. Okay. But we got a backup plan. This is kind of pure luck. Check this out. It's called a rotary latch. We're gonna have to modify it, I think. But look, you pull this, that flips out. It's hard to do by one hand, but anyway, if you do this, it locks. And you come over to this side, pull this handle, it unlocks. So what's that look like? Close the hood, lock. Pull this, open. This thing is compact. It's actually too low in this position, or at least I think it is. Maybe I should check. But here's our tape measure. Yeah, so we're way below 2 inches tall. That can be trimmed. Actually, that could be trimmed too a little bit if it had to. But this thing's not very big. Let's see. Yeah, there you go. A little over 1 inch tall, even with the catch, 1.5 inches. Not bad. So we're going to trim this and weld a piece over here so that we can like actuate it in this direction. That part won't matter. So what we're about to do is close the hood and grab our latch and see if it physically, like when the hood's in its shut position, see if the latch physically fits here. A couple things of note. Something on this is hitting the hood. We're going to see if there's any way to adjust that and stop that from hitting. And also, I lost the piece that goes here, and so I just made one out of aluminum. So, saved like 1/1000th of an ounce. But whatever, at least I got a hood now, or a hood catch latch prop thing. Yeah. Alright, let's get the hood shut, and let's see if this latch is going to fit here or not. Alright, so we got our latch. We tack welded it to this plate, and we drilled 4 holes. We clamped it with a pair of vice grips, and let's see if we can get this on video. It's not at the correct height, but here's the hood. Ooh, you can barely see that. Zoom in a little bit. There we go. So it lands pretty close to center, and you can see the thing coming over, but it won't click when you push the hood down. It's too high. Fix that. Yeah. So it almost works, which is fine. It just needs to be spaced up, but it's generally located in the right spot. If you look at it this way. Oh, sorry, hard to film, but I'm trying to show you guys. There you go. It's kind of in the middle, forward to backwards. So the position is not bad. So we marked our holes. I gotta take it all apart. We're gonna drill those holes. I kind of put them towards the edge. That might have been a mistake, but I'll see if I can put rivet nuts. I don't know if I can. I might have done that a little too aggressive, but if I can, I'll rivet nut it. And at that point, I should just be able to drop some bolts and washers and use the washers to space it up and down and the bolts to tighten it. And the top holes are 1/4 inch, but I could drill them out to 5/16 to move some left, right, forward, back adjustment. Although from what we just saw, it's close enough that it'll work the way it is. So anyway, I'm gonna take this all apart and see what we do. Check it out. So we put our rivet nuts in, so we got threaded holes. We got 3 washers on each one. That's going to space this thing up a little bit. That's our part. So let me show you. I think this is going to work. So that goes there like that. Let's see, it'd be hard to film and do this, but let's try. Got our bolts. There we go. See if she works. Oh, look at that. Listen, let's see. Oh, it clicked. Oh, that's it. We have a latched hood. Nice, no hood pins. We still got to figure out how to open it. Right now it's a screwdriver. That could probably be improved. There it goes. Yep, so that part could be improved, but hey. We got a hood latch, low profile, adjustable. It's actually not really adjusted. It's well, the height worked out, but we just drilled the holes the right. So we did the bolts are quarter inch holes in all 4. And since everything's on size, if you get a hole even like 5 or 10 thou off, it's not going to line up. And admittedly, we've been doing pretty good, but on these we kind of missed. So I had to drill these holes 20 thou over, which is not much. It's only 10 thou positional. And then it dropped right in there. So there she is. Low profile hood latch. Now we got to figure out how to open the hood latch. But the fact that it even has one, that's fucking awesome. Man, I wanted to do this so bad. I did not want to put hood pins. So I'm pretty happy. This turned out pretty nice. Seems like a lot of work. Looks not that bad. Anyway, that's awesome. So here's our old cable, the original one. And this is the end that goes in the car. So we're going to try to figure out how to implement that. Probably not right now. I'm going to think about it a little bit. Because this piece, so say it's locked, all you got to do is pull this piece that way a little bit. Or down. Either one. So it's not too bad. So what we'll probably do is weld something to this that comes out here and then hook the cable in, so the cable can pull just like the factory did, and run the cable in the car. We'll have to mount it and all that stuff because we cut all the metal where the factory one went, but it's easy enough to put something there. But yeah, how about that? Low profile hood latch, no hood pins on a race car. Yep, pretty happy with that. Well, that's all I got to say on that. I don't even know what we're doing next, but I'm just happy. This has been a big one. I've been wanting this was one of those big things where I was like, man, I don't know how I'm going to do this. And we figured it out. We just got lucky. We found this little rotating latch thing. Once we found that, the rest of it come together. All right, well, I think I'll bring you guys back. I think the next project is actually the rear bumper, I think. But let's see.